Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can now settle down. We can settle down and start with our program. I'm going to ask a volunteer, Kathy. I'm going to ask you to pray for us. Please.
BIMC, Jehovah, we thank you, Lord, that this is the day that you've made, that we should gather here all together in your presence, Jehovah. Father God, embrace us in this place, Jehovah, with our guests, with our honorable ministers, Jehovah. We thank you for their presence. Father God, lead us and guide us until the end of this program, Jehovah. Lord, protect everyone from here, Jehovah. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray that God, you direct the MC, Jehovah, to be able to lead us. And all the speakers for this evening, Jehovah, I surrender them unto you, Lord. In the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you. Amen.
Thank you very much, Kathy, for a word of prayer. So we have a very short program. You know that we have to be here. We have to be out of here by 6:30 or by 7, so that we may be able to reach our homes before the set time of 2000 hours or 8 o'clock. So we are going to have a very brief program, and right now I'm going to go straight in welcoming everyone that is here. I'm going to start with the Honorable Minister Donald Tumiso Rakare, the Minister of Youth Empowerment, Sport and Culture Development. Honorable Minister, we welcome you. The Minister is accompanied here by the Permanent Secretary, Ramukate. We welcome you, sir. They are also in the company of Re Paledi, who's the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the same ministry. Sir, we welcome you. But we welcome the senior government officials that are here that we may have, because of time, not been able to acknowledge a name. And we welcome our international guests, those of you that have come from faraway places to come and be with us here today. Please feel very welcome in this country. Many of you are not coming here for the first time. You've always graced this occasion. I know it is home for you. Please feel at home. You are welcome here. I can see in our midst the President of Botswana Musicians Union, Fresh Lesokwani. We welcome you, sir. We welcome the different artists, performers, people from media. Everyone is welcome. We also would like to acknowledge our sponsors. The Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Sport and Culture Development is the key sponsor for this event. We would like to acknowledge the ministry. To my knowledge, they have always been a big support to this event. They've really upped the game when it comes to supporting the arts, when it comes to supporting music, and you know what? It's a pleasure to have them here and to have them sponsoring this event. we would also like to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. You may not have been mentioned here, but please feel very welcome to be here with us today, and feel free and enjoy the proceedings. The program is exciting. I don't know if you have the program, but it's super exciting. There's a panel discussion coming up on life inside and outside the COVID bubble. There's a number of personalities that are going to be on the panel. We're going to be hearing from them. Tomorrow, there's other panels. We'll be hearing from different players in the music industry about how they're managing in the COVID times. As you know, that COVID has disrupted everything and has turned the world around. And even when the world is turned around, even during World War, at any time when the world was turned around, there has always been massive opportunities. There's always been massive opportunities. And you need to seize the moment. You need to take up the opportunities. You just need to track the way that you've been doing things so that you embrace the new normal and turn it into a huge opportunity for yourself. So, Bagaetso, I am not one of the speakers. I'm simply an MC, and I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Diamond. My full name is Kabo Diamond Museki, but I prefer that you call me Diamond, yes. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm simply going to call the Honorable Minister to come up here and give us the keynote address. Honorable Minister,
Thank you very much, Rekan Nahasi. Oh, hello, big dog. How's it, bro? Hey. Ikutle botlhoko banna ba go jaga nako ele. But ikutle maloba gore o bone Spanish somewhere kara, that's my brother. Go sontse go nna le batile lengwe a le tswala lengwe la bulega ona. Ga ke ba mo kgona. Yeah, that's how talent is. You are immensely talented. Director of Ceremonies, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Sport and Culture Development, my brother, my good friend, Reka Horamukate, the Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Sport and Culture Development, Re Victor Bruno Paledi, also my brother, my friend, policy specialist at MISAC, Re Khau Lemminyani, the convener of BIMC, Resavelo Mudibe, international delegates and speakers, local delegates and speakers, members of the executive committees of various arts formations, artists and promoters here present, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Director of Ceremonies, it is indeed an honor for me to officiate at this very important event to mark the 6th anniversary of the Botswana International Music Conference. Due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the organizers have found it fit and prudent to host the conference virtually to adapt to the new normal. I'm reliably informed that the purpose of this conference is to create a platform where the music industry practitioners from Botswana and the world can network and build business relationships that can create economic value. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2020 presented challenges to the economy, and the creative industry was not spared. COVID-19 necessitated a complete shutdown of events, which crippled the earning potential of the creative sector. This has compelled the ministry to look at the opportunity to continue collaborating with industry in order to keep the industry light burning. We are constantly reviewing our policies and approaches to help the industry weather this current storm, and we continue to support activities that will propel the industry forward, and BIMC has been identified as one of those activities. Director of Ceremonies, it is pleasing to share that since the inception of the BIMC in 2014, the conference has made notable progress in achieving its objectives. The participation levels have increased from around 50 in 2014 to 400 in 2019. And this year, because of technology, I'm convinced that the number of people watching online will grow significantly. Barulaganye ba BIMC ke ka le ruri haletsa gore se se tlile go tsamaya sentle mme ebile ke dumela gore le lona le tla rurihatsa morago ga tiro ya rona matsatsing la gompieno gore ke boammaaruri go tsamaile sentle ba le bantsi ba ne ba lebeletse thulaganyo ya rona ya tsatsi la gompieno. Director of Ceremonies, as indicated earlier on, Botswana performing artists, promoters, and the media have benefited from the relationships established through BIMC. This includes Sereti and the natives who performed at the Bushfire Festival in Eswatini and Vic Falls Carnival in Zimbabwe. Tabang Harowe, Maxi, and Eric Ramko have been signed to share music publishing, to name but a few notable achievements. There is also a lot of movement in the industry, such as the relocation of artists such as Ben T, DJ KSB, and videographer Jack Butluku, who are now based in South Africa. This is commendable because such moves will expose their craft to the bigger market. We also have our own DJ Ngwazi, who is well-traveled and traveled in a tour with DJ for global superstar Master KG of Jerusalem fame. DJ Ngwazi is currently based in South Africa, Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, we currently have many of our artists who are doing well globally. These great ambassadors continue to hoist the blue, black, and white flag very high without any assistance from government. Some of these include DJ Fresh, who is amongst us here today. Let's give him a huge round of applause. Connie and Shona Ferguson, who are based in South Africa, they also deserve a round of applause. Samantha Sirolwani, who is based in the US, a round of applause. Kaone Kariwo, South Africa based and USA based, a round of applause. We are grateful for the unofficial ambassadorial role you play for our nation. I want to assure you that His Excellency the President of Botswana, President Masisi, administration sees your efforts and recognizes them. Botswana International Music Conference Arts and the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Sports and Culture Development participated at various music international conferences and events in 2018 and 2019. These include the World Music Expo in Spain, Mushito in South Africa, the Music Imbizo in South Africa, the Music Expo in Seychelles, Mauritius Music Expo, and Indian Ocean Music Markets, and others. MISEC sent musicians, artists, managers, promoters, and the DJs who went to these events to learn from their peers. This was all through the facilitation of the BIMC founder, Resabelo Mudibe, aka Zbizo. Remudibe is a renowned music promoter, an artist, a manager, and astute entrepreneur who has contributed to the development of many artists in Botswana and Southern Africa. With an illustrious career spanning 20 years, Sabelo continues to reinvent himself. His latest music venture will certainly propel the music industry in Botswana to greater heights. The announcement of the formation of Total Music Group is a welcome development. With your energy, Remudibe, your drive and hunger for success, we are confident that the Total Music Group will become an international record label. We wish you the best. For me to request you to stand up as we give you a huge round of applause and show you gratitude for the work you tirelessly does for the music industry in our country. Thank you very much, Zbizo. Nakasaliki mono bogolo ayora yanung answer tsweletse re gola yana ha ke le ko ya rena FM na kona ko ya la tsena Jigamsanzi, Java Urile, Parabare, Mafiking, Rita Hore, Elore, Owanahor no, as Bizo is highly passionate about what he does. We need more of Boss Bizo. Me, I can tell you, we have those Mulahatsel Larona, and I believe that Ratla Hakala, ka industry ni Yaronai. Director of Ceremonies, we are all aware of the negative impact that COVID-19 has had on the entire creative industry. Our industry in Botswana is heavily reliant on live events. It is incumbent upon all of us to find ways of doing things differently in the new normal. I implore my ministry, arts associations, and organizations such as BOFINET, Botswana Innovation Hub, and HRDC to explore developing a proper ecosystem for the creative sector. This should include alternative physical and digital retail structures and outlets for arts and crafts, music, fashion, to name a few. In a bid to support the recovery of the industry and creative, the ministry collaborated with various stakeholders in 2020 in order to minimize the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. This was done through virtual events staged across the country, where engaged artists were paid through the MISEC COVID-19 Relief Fund. This is clearly not enough, but it cushioned those artists against the impact of the pandemic. We can never say it was enough. Me kana ba gaetso Setswana sa re morogo wa ngwana ga o tlhotswe ditlhokwa. E ne le maiteko me se re se batlang ke gone gore COVID-19 e hete le boele mo tantsheng re kgone go ja monate le kgone go itirela madi. Furthermore, we have had meetings and engagements with various creative industry stakeholders countrywide from 2019 to date. It gives me great pleasure to announce that we are on the right track in regards the National Arts Council of Botswana. The National Arts Council of Botswana is expected to be fully functional by July 2020, and we hope that it will address your concerns as artists, DJs, music promoters, and everybody. You are interest mo go tsone di sector tse tsa rona. And nka le solohetse. Ke le bolela ke le ra hela ka July. Ha Arts Council e sa simolla. Nya ya no ke tla le joina re ira toitoi gore ke ntshiwe go tsenngwe mo. I'm going to join you because we fought hard for this thing. We fought hard for the establishment of the National Arts Council of Botswana. And let me tell you something. You know, ke tla be ke joina V le PP. Gompieno ha re na le diramo go ditshane. Gore ke tswe mo ministry be ke a go tswa le ko mo go ditshane ka 2024. So I can, yeah, let's allow me a mo teng exozo. So re tla be re le mmogo. And I don't think nka batla gore re go gone ko. And like I always say, I want to see you guys really wealthy. I want to see you guys making money because you guys are talented. This is what we need from you. And obviously we need a platform, and National Arts Council will provide that platform. La Romanya ke re le nna le re yo processes minister mo gongwe re tsa lobaka go neelwa ne re itikile gore re kopile go sa kgonagale, but with the establishment of the National Arts Council of Botswana mo gone tla be sa tlholeng e le mathata. In conclusion, Director of Ceremonies, I would like to applaud the creative industry practitioners who have been cooperating with government and working with us, and those that have been doing their work independently without government assistance. I wish you success in the near future. On that note, I wish to declare the Botswana International Music Conference Virtual Edition of 2021 officially opened. Ke a leboga ba gaetsho, pula.
Thank you very much, sir. Bagaetsho, let's give the minister another round of applause. The minister is by himself a very exciting person. I think a breath of fresh air, if you want to say. Some of us have watched him, we've listened to him, we've seen him, we see the passion, we see the dedication, we see a man at work, we see a man ready to change things. Because one of the biggest problems in this country is things that don't change. Things don't change, years go by and things remain the same. And when you have a young person like him entering a ministry and pushing for things like the National Arts Council, which we are so hopeful of, that the National Arts Council is going to make the difference that we've all been calling for, that there needs to be something different happening at the ministry. There needs to be something different happening in the arts scene, mo Botswana. So, ke dumela thata gore the Honorable Minister o itshwere sentle. And I know you are not alone. I know your team is fully behind you, because sometimes we forget that these are the people that, on an everyday basis, are the people that are pushing there. We acknowledge you, Repa Lady, we acknowledge you, and other officials from the ministry that are pushing this agenda, that want to see the National Arts Council in place. And also the other thing that we should be thankful to the ministry, the leadership of the ministry for, is finally we are going to have the State Theatre. I think that is really commendable. I've traveled widely around the world, and in each and every country I've been to, I've been fortunate to see their national theater, the state theater, where everything happens, where there is such rich legacy. And I hope the same will obtain for us in this country. It will in the end become a platform where dreams are made. Because there is nothing as sweet as saying, this man started performing here. Now he has gone to London, he's gone to New York, he's gone to all those places. But it starts at the National Theatre. So we are so hopeful, sir, and we are very grateful for the ministry and for what you do. Finally, all the things that we've been talking about, all the things that we have always called for, we are seeing them take shape, sir. Can you give the minister and the ministry another round of applause? Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, the next activity is the panel discussion. We're going to have a panel discussion on life inside and outside the COVID-19 bubble. COVID-19 is what we are talking about, and it will be amiss that we come here, we gather here, and we don't talk about COVID-19 and how we can navigate the monster. We need to talk to that, and talking to that would be the following. We have DJ Fresh. DJ Fresh, we all know DJ Fresh. We all know DJ Fresh from his days with RB2. We followed his career, we followed him. We have always supported him. And he's made us proud. At a time when this country didn't have celebrity culture. Kind of celebrity culture is something very new in this country. He was a celebrity. Celebrity culture is similar to Facebook, Twitter, but he was a celebrity at the time. And even before we knew him, we met him, we knew him from radio. We listened to him, we attended his gigs, we followed the man, and he's here today. He's coming to talk about the COVID situation. He's one of our panelists. DJ Fresh, can you please come take your seat up here, my brother? You are so much welcome here at home. Yes, you are most welcome here. All right, so I'm going to call, the next person I'm going to call is the convener of this event, the BIMC Sabelo Modibe, a distinguished gentleman. Sometimes I run out of words. What to say about him? He's been my friend for over 20 years. We met on the streets. We've had so much happening together. He's remained one of my most loyal friends. And whenever he says, my brother, come and help me, I stand up to come and help him. And that is why I'm here today. Sbizo, we know his record. We know what he has done. I've always said, and I continue to say this, so this is one of the most talented Botswana of his time. If history books are written and you don't mention Sbizo, then there's a mistake there. There is something terribly wrong. And Sbizo, I don't know about this. I don't know anything, but one of the biggest signs that the Ask Council is going to work will be when it has Sbizo on board as a board member. The minister, the ministry leadership, I'm not campaigning for him. He has campaigned for himself through what he has done over the years. And the minister just stood here to tell us his record. That, no, I've always known him for 20 years. So somebody that has been doing something so massive, so big for many years, why can't he be there? Why can't he be there? Why can't he be on the National Arts Council and provide the necessary strategic leadership? So Sbizo, come on board, man. He's a panel. He's going to be one of our panelists. And then we have from the ministry, we have Re Khaole Menyane, whom I've also followed over the years. A man purely dedicated to the arts. I remember him go my tisong. I remember the great work that he used to do, because for some time, it took the place of our National Theatre. That is where everything was happening. And he was the man making things happen there. That was after David Slater, right? Yes, after David Slater. Some of you who've been in the arts, you remember what David Slater, and he took over there, and he did amazing things. Some of us have been regulars to see all the beautiful events that he put together. And we are so happy that the ministry has recognized his talent. They have seen that with him on board, a lot of change can happen. So, Rele Menyane, please come up here, my brother. So, as I speak, you can see that this is a very distinguished panel, right? It's very distinguished. And then we have from the Republic of South Africa, DJ Tira, who's joining us today from South Africa. One of the stars of the game, you know. We are so blessed to have you here, my brother. You've done amazing things. I don't think there's anybody in this hall who can claim that they don't know you. We know him. And interestingly, I think Fresh were involved in starting him off. Yeah. So, yeah, you see, half. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you are welcome, DJ Tira. You are welcome. I'm so happy to have you here, sir. And, so this is our panel. So the discussion is on life inside and outside the COVID bubble. But before we get into the actual panel, I'm going to ask DJ Fresh to say one or two things and to give a general talk to you. DJ Fresh.
It's on.
Is it working?
Yes, it's working. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, all protocols observed. If I've excluded you, we'll discuss it outside after this. No, in fact, what I'm going to do, because I've been asked to speak specifically on the role of radio during COVID, so I'll actually touch on that at the end of our general discussion. So I don't know what direction you wanted to take the program, sir.
I think you can speak to the topic from perspective.
Okay,
yeah.
I think one thing COVID-19 did for the entertainment industry is make us realize that we're not ready for any emergency. Often we'd have discussions about if you were to lose your job today, do you have enough money to last you for 3 months, at least while you're looking for another job? And, those that had the luxury of being able to save often try to save at least for 3 months of contingency in case something happened. I don't think any of us were ready for what if it's longer than 3 months that you don't have an income. And I think that's been the reality for a lot of us in entertainment. And because some of us have been in entertainment for as long as we have, I relocated to Johannesburg in December 1994. So my career has been, I've had the good fortune of having a long period in which to build. So for someone such as myself, I've been able to save. I've been able to have the contingency in place that if I don't have an income, my kids don't feel it. So for me, that's been always important. And, I always stress the fact that you don't have to earn $1,000 in order to save. Even if you earn $10, are you able to save 25% of their 10 bucks and live within the 75%. Because for now, I believe saving is a habit and a lifestyle. It's not necessarily about how much are you earning. And I think a lot of us in entertainment took all of that for granted. Because you're getting gigs all the time, people love you, you think, this tap will never dry. And then enter March 2020, and all of a sudden, I think all of us were caught with our pants down. And, you know, a lot of people have literally relocated back home or back to a 9-to-5 if they can find a 9-to-5. Because all of a sudden you realize that Mama was right. Find a proper job. So I think that's been the reality for a lot of us in entertainment. The fact that if you're not using your either celebrity or your fame or your fan base to find other means of income, then you are sleeping on yourself and you are wasting a good fan base. V will tell you with his water brand that his water brand will probably be the difference between whether V still has his house at the end of the year or not. Because now we're not gigging. But V knows he's got a loyal fan base. Offer them something, and you'll be surprised at how many people are willing to spend money on whatever you're offering. And again, a lot of us in entertainment sleep on that fact. I mean, we live in an internet era where you know your fan base, you know what they want, you know what they don't want. Why are we not servicing them? We're not gigging, guys. So we need to wake up to the fact that if you've built a name, what are you doing to leverage what you've built to create other forms of income? How are you leveraging the contacts you have to get out of entertainment and do other things and find other streams of income? These are, I'm in entertainment. I've been a DJ since I was 13, since high school. I've been in entertainment since 1985, 1986. But even for me, I realized last year that it's not enough. It's not enough. You need to build beyond your own hype. You need to build beyond, I'm the flavor of the moment right now. And unfortunately for a lot of the new kids in the industry, because homonati, madi atsena, you think it will last forever. And it won't. And that's been some of my learnings so far, even with all the years I've spent in this in the entertainment industry. That the lot that we were doing was still not enough.
Hello. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, DJ Fresh, for that talk. Might have been short, but it's loaded. Especially as advice to our artists, our musicians out there. They need to really embrace a new way of doing things. I think the biggest takeaway for them should be that prioritize savings, diversify. Many of us are always criticizing the country for not diversifying the economy. We forget that we are the people that actually diversify. Yeah, when we diversify, when people report, they'll say the country has a diversified economy because we are diversifying. Yes. So thank you about that. Thank you very much about that. So now I think we'll go to DJ Tirana. Yes. As a performer, as a musician, as a person that is doing so many things, being an entrepreneur, all that. How have you found the COVID? How are you navigating COVID? Any lessons for us? Any lessons for Botswana here and everybody listening at home? What are the lessons?
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister. I would like to say, I think the future of Botswana industry, entertainment industry, is bright because you are being led by a gentleman who's really in touch with what is happening and who's young and who has a vision. And to put together such projects like this conference is very, very important because knowledge is power, and we need the knowledge in order to know where we're going. I remember I met DJ Fresh during my Exoso days. I will say my Exoso days because I was a promoter, so doing gigs. So I was booking about DJ Fresh to come to Durban to perform, but also I was a DJ. In fact, DJ Fresh also gave us the name Durban's Finest. So I come very far with this man. So we started the movement in Durban around about 2005. That's when the first Durban Kwaito song, Was a Durban, was composed. And the song was so strategically because already it was talking about tourism. So we were saying, Maufunuk Jiva was a Durban. It's a song, but also it's launching our movement. So it's very, very important when you are working on something to not focus on just, I just want to make a song and get on stage and dance. But you need to look at a bigger picture. So it's all about getting people to your town, to your city, to your country. It's all about trying to also plug other artists that are in your country. So after studying Afrotainment, helped by Kalawa Jasmine, we then thought that it's important that we also stage events in Durban that will be able to entertain the people that will be coming to Durban. So hence, we started a brand called Fact Durban Rocks. Fact Durban Rocks, initially, it was just a statement that we were saying, when we promote a CD, we will put at the front the cover of a CD, and then at the back, we will put the slogan, Fact Durban Rocks. And then later we said, oh, this could be also an event name. And then we used that event to start in 2011. So from 2011 till recently, Fact Durban Rocks has been growing from about 5,000 people. Now it's got about 20,000 people that attends every Durban July and every 31st of December. And I'm sure that with these collaborations that we are doing here, maybe in the near future, we're going to see a Botswana stage at Fact Durban Rocks, and we will see a lot of collaboration between Botswana and South Africa, Botswana and Durban. At the same time, the government won't take an artist to a studio to make a song. It's important for us as artists to also see the opportunity. So, for example, I'm here today. There is V here, who's also an artist here in the country. If I'm lazy, I'm gonna go sleep and don't make music. But if I wanna work, I'm gonna live here. We're gonna go to studio and make music, which is gonna help to grow the relationship between Durban and Botswana, or between South Africa and Botswana. So the very important thing is that we cannot just look at the situation that we have right now. We cannot perform our events at Valiwe because of COVID and so forth. We need to look at other things that we can do in the meantime, sell our music on streaming platforms so that at least we can be able to earn a living. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DJ. Yeah, a round of applause for him. Thank you very much. Although you didn't tell us about your chicken business. Are you going to...
It's just another business that I'm trying to start. As you can see that we can't perform, so Makoya chicken is coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think now next we are going to have Sbizo, talk about the music industry here, how COVID has affected the music industry, and where are the opportunities in all that?
Yeah. So I've been around for some time, you know. I think Fresh doesn't know this. So my big break, you know, came when Fresh was doing bookings for Hip Hop and Tour. So I just graduated with my AAT. He calls me, hey Mona, Fresh a re batla go simolla go direla di bookings and stuff. So go tlhokana le motho o ka nnang a go tsholo to make sure we disa dilo teng. So in that 6 or 7 months that we were working with Fresh, because he didn't know me or maybe he talk on at that time, he said something that stuck with me for a very long time. He said to us, guys, I'm not going to touch your man. If Lona, you are dishonest, you're not going to go anywhere far. So when people book you, they'll put money in your account. You will pay us our 20%. That thing stuck with me for a very long time. And people that know me very well around, at least you know that I'm a little bit honest. I try, to be a little bit honest. So I've been in the industry for some time. So 4 years ago, my family will tell you, I decided, oh no, man, you know what? I think the music industry in Botswana is going south. Then I decided, no, I'm going to branch into farming. I remember telling Kabo the other day, like, you know what? I'm getting into cattle, I'm doing this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. He thought I was bluffing. I grew that thing. I kept on, getting some of, I started buying just Botswana and just, I grew the profile of cattle. And then I then decided that, you know what? I think because I've inherited a lot of land from my grandparents, I need to register these herds and build more and just slowly and build the profile. So I diversified my investment so that I can use the money that I'm making also to come and grow my what I'm going to be doing in music. So sometime last year, I'm sitting at home and we know that the lockdown is going to be 30 days. Then an announcement comes in and said, no, the lockdown is going to be that 3 months lockdown. It's going again for 3 months. I then decided to switch teachers, like, what am I going to do? I can't go to my farm. I don't have money to build a house. What am I going to do? Then I remember that in 2010, I started a company called Total Music Solutions. I said, no, man. I'm going to set up a company that does music publishing. I'm going to use the time that I'm inside the house for 3 months to restructure everything that I've been doing in music. Because with the farming, it's going well. With the property, it's getting there. So I set up Total, I rebranded the whole company, came up with Total Music Group. I remember calling Mr. Ramogati telling him that I'm bringing a proposal to him to set up something, So I set up Total Music Group. I started to market it as if like it exists. What it's going to do. I think those who follow me on social media, they've been following me. They've seen what I've been writing about Total Music, what it's going to do, what it's doing, yada 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 yada. So then the union guys, the Botswana Musicians Union, they came to me. Mona, we see what you are trying to do here. We have the awards, the apala. How did you say? Then I said, no, before I get involved, because I'm an auditor by profession, give me the books of accounts. Let me see what you've been doing. Then we started to punch out, and I showed them, actually, you could grow these awards from where they are to be a 10 million event in 3 years' time, if you do it right. But first, you have to start making sure that those that invest in this thing, they trust that the money will go to the artists. I sat down, before I signed anything, I gave them a proper event growth strategy. How they're going to grow the awards from what they are, how they're going to turn them from just a mere prize-giving event into a proper event where they can attract even international people to come and participate. So if you want to talk about probably something that came out of COVID in Botswana, it's me that came out of COVID. So while I was working on this, I realized that, look, I've got a platform, which is the Botswana International Music Conference. Why don't I use this conference to propel all the things that I'm doing and just bring even the other guys that I work with into the platform that I do, that I use? Because as time goes on, Exotic was going to take over the Botswana International Music Conference, or somebody's going to do another one that's going to be bigger than mine. So I personally have decided to stop complaining and shouting at people and like really soil my hands and go for it. And I think probably this is the right time I can approach Fresh and say, Fresh, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm offering. For the first time, I'm very confident that I can come to the table and do that.
And we can see Mohammed Motabe, so we can also talk farming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bizo, and thank you, Fresh. Rele Menyane, I want you to talk to this issue from a government's point of view, for the ministry, and I think what is of interest to us here is what is the ministry planning? I know you are very responsive as a government. You've helped the artists, you know, when it was really difficult. And I want to know, do you have any more plans? How are you working with the industry players to ensure that people survive the COVID thing?
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Honorable Minister, PS, Deputy PS, and my colleagues, industry players all here. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. Right, I just want to start by confirming what the minister was saying, and to say, as the ministry, we are running. We are really running to make sure that the Arts Council happens. As we speak, you may all be aware, or the expression of interest for board applications closed on the 2nd of March. And by the end of, in the next 2 weeks, the board would have been appointed. So we're not talking things that are up in the air, we're talking factual things. So the board will be appointed in the next 2 weeks. And after that, a consultant will be in place to begin, recruiting for the secretariat, who will start running the Arts Council. So the timelines the Minister are real, and we are working extremely hard with the guidance of our PS to make sure that that happens. The biggest thing that we're really pushing right now is to unlock the industry, to unlock it in order to make people see where value can be derived. And we are doing that with what we have already. You realize, ministry there is a television channel, out there Now Channel. So Now Channel, you know, television and music is played, or sound is played on television. So what the ministry has done is to deliberately continue paying Cosbots royalties. Agreed that, you know, royalties have to trickle down to the creatives. So we can confirm that the ministry pays Cosbot royalties, and Cosbot has got to disperse that money to the industry. So one of the things, you know about the President's Day competitions. So we are beneficiating from that because now, you know, these are big events where people gather and they perform and they win prize money. So the budget that was set, that has always been set aside for that, now we are taking that budget and creating value out of it. So you remember that in December last year, there were those studio-based performances. By doing that, we are creating content for the channel. And now the performers at those platforms are paid. So instead of the money, because now people can't gather, so we create content for television, and we are able to put money into artists' pockets. So those are some of the things that are doing. Lay constituency at competitions. So the other thing that we did, it's the first, is to do what is called a relicensing exercise. So we are alive to the fact that the industry is really struggling. So what we've done is the programs that have been running, more channeling at TV and now. So we've extended the contract of those programs that we're running. And that way, the content providers. So now what we are pushing for is for the content producers to be able to pay talent, but a residual agreement, so that the actors who are involved in that, the cinematographers who are involved in that, also benefit. So what we're going to do, which I want to say to content producers, you must sign residual agreements with the talent that you use, so that beneficiation can trickle down to everybody who is involved in the value chain. So those are some of the things when I say we are unlocking the value thing in the industry, so that everybody within the value chain. I spoke about musicians, now I'm talking about actors and producers and cinematographers. So all of those are now able to benefit. For instance, a program is bought for 2.5 million. I get it. So now, so the first issue get the rights, primary rights. So all the talent that is involved gets paid, and then Harry relicense ayana. Then the people who are involved also get paid. From the primary rights, they get their fees, and from the secondary rights, and from the residual income. So that's how the creative industry has made people extremely wealthy, because any potential thing just continues for the rest of your life. So you just need to position the products specifically so that you know how they can continue to beneficiate, all the talent or the IP or rights owners.
That is very interesting. And I'm just curious to know, are the musicians or the artists themselves involved with the whole process? Are they helping you with generating ideas so that in the end they are not left behind? It becomes something that they have been part of in creating. Are they involved?
So what we've done so far is, with the approval of our leadership, we have set up a platform, Creative Botswana Chairpersons Forum. So that forum is a consultative forum where we meet with creatives once a month, the last Thursday of every month since January. So our next meeting is tomorrow. So at that, we've got all the chairpersons of creative arts associations. We meet with them, we discuss ideas. So that's the platform where we communicate information about what the ministry is doing, and we get ideas from industry to inform what we do. So in preparation for the National Arts Council, like Minister Rabuile, we are trying by all means to make sure that the industry is organized. So we have put word out to say, organizations, associations, can you organize yourselves? Make sure that you find your home within the sector. If you are a filmmaker, identify a film association. If you are a musician, identify a music association. If you are an actor, identify and belong to an actors association, so that we know. It becomes easy for the ministry to communicate and to get ideas from industry, so that this two-way stream, is opened. So we're constantly alive to the creation of those platforms where we can exchange ideas. So I'm saying we're not there yet, but we are working towards that. And when the Arts Council starts, at the time when it starts, as the minister mentioned, all of these consultative platforms will be very clear, where there will be a two-way communication stream, where industry will constantly give us feedback, where, if we need to communicate with the industry, we know how to do that. Instead of people being in their own silos and everybody coming at I've been invited to go perform in Nigeria. We are also going to create, sustainability within the industry. So some of these are very exciting ideas. And I think something that I always say is, it's an exciting time to be in the creative space in Botswana right now.
Yeah, perhaps also an exciting time to be alive. Yeah, DJ Fresh, you want to say something?
I just wanted to add to what you were saying, sir, that I think one of the biggest mistakes we made in the arts last year is the fact that we're not unionized. So we don't speak with one voice. So when you go to a ministry or you go to government and you say we want help, who's we? When you're not speaking with one voice. So I think one thing that, if you're a creative, is find a union or someone that can represent you and can lobby on your behalf. Because otherwise, it's one proposal, another proposal, next thing there's 100 proposals. And it makes it more difficult for us to get assistance when, like you're saying, we're going in 100 different silos. Mara, if we're going as one voice, it's easier to say, there's 1,000 of us, these are our gripes, this is how we believe you can assist us, and it makes it easier for you to be heard than if you go as a one-man or one-woman show. So I think it's important that we start working together as creatives, as one unit. Then it makes it easier for government to be able to assist you.
But also, Fresh, just to add on to that, numbers make sense for businesses. If there is 10,000 of you and you approach a big company, say an insurance company or a cell phone network company, and say, we want this product, and there's 10,000 of you, you are bringing them business, it just makes a lot of sense.
Thank you very much. And I was just having a thought as we were talking. I think this National Arts Council thing is really exciting. The more I think about it, the more I see how it's just going to turn the whole thing around. It's going to be the difference. It's going to be the difference. And I'm thinking, in addition to appointing a board, and this is to the ministry officials, in addition to appointing the board, because the board itself is going to look at the operations of the organization called the National Arts Council. It's not necessarily going to be people that are creatives and what. I think it is also going to be important that you have advisory boards who are not running the organization, but offering counsel to the organization, like the film, people doing film, the musicians, the what. And I think what Fresh was talking to, people coming together, I think that is where you can get it from. You know, you work with associations, you work with people that have come together and say, okay, what is your advice? How do you influence our strategy? Because the organization works with a strategy, and people need to input into the strategy. So it's a big opportunity. We are really excited about that. I'm waiting for you to advertise the post. Fresh. I want to bring you in again. We agreed that your focus now is going to be on radio. I want to understand from your perspective, the COVID times, and how does radio become of assistance to the music industry? How does it become part of the rebuilding process?
Okay, so in terms of radio, I can go on the whole night. I know what time is curfew. So I think there were a lot of learnings from a radio perspective last year. So last year I was working at 947 Prime Media. And one thing that I appreciate about where I worked is the fact that they believe in constant research. There's research literally happening on a daily basis. And I think how you can localize that kind of machinery is something as simple as, if you're a radio station or you're a radio DJ, or even as a performer, what stops you from having a dedicated WhatsApp number or WhatsApp group for your diehard fans or your loyal fans? Because that's where you get your immediate feedback from. So for instance, the research mechanism we're using is similar to that. It's online, where you have a dedicated, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever your sample size you want to be, you decide. But where you have people who are giving you feedback all the time. And, there's always been the question asked to people who love radio, why radio? And they'll always tell you that I love radio because radio is my escape. Radio is my companion. Radio helps me forget that I have problems. And I think in the history of radio, minus the world wars, this is probably the time where radio has been a companion at a level that has never been used at before. And I think often as radio people, we take it for granted that we actually have a big role to play, that people depend on us for information, they depend on us for hope, they depend on us to make us feel like we're part of one unit, we're in this together. And I think that's what radio for us demonstrated last year. For instance, one of the research questions we asked last year was asking people, what's your biggest fear now that we're in lockdown? I just want to share some of the findings. And this is in order of what people are concerned about. The biggest concern was, for instance, job losses and unemployment. So as a radio station or as a radio person, now that you know what your people fear the most, what kind of program are you tailoring to help them through that? Because that's our role as broadcasters. Our role as broadcasters is we're the solution. People turn to you in the absence of any other information. And like I said, often we take that for granted. Often we just want to turn on the mic, and then we play the next song. But I think during COVID times, radio has a much bigger responsibility. Other things people are worried about were, for instance, the economy, survival of small business. A lot of small businesses are dead because of COVID. Again, as a radio station, you have a responsibility to your immediate small business community. Are you giving them rates they can afford to try and keep them afloat? Are you doing, for instance, telethons maybe to raise funds if that's what you need to do? Again, that's our responsibility as broadcasters. Confusing information around the virus. That was one of the other big fears that we found in our research. Because everyone has an aunt in a WhatsApp group that believes that the vaccine is going to change her DNA. And then you're hearing other information from other people. As a radio, our responsibility is to debunk myths like that, give people all that information. Are we doing that as broadcasters? Other fears included children missing out on education, being afraid of police brutality, financial impact, concerned about poor and vulnerable groups, and concerned about spreading the virus or catching the virus. So these are some of the concerns that our listeners said every night because of that. So our responsibility as broadcasters was to make sure that we give them the flip side of the very same coin of that fear, and either say, these are the solutions we can find for you or help you find, or let's talk about it. Because often you feel less fear if you realize you're not feeling the fear alone. When you hear someone else on the radio say, you know, I lost my business, but I still have my health. You know, one listener can change the perspective of so many other people purely by saying, you know, things were rough, but look at me right now. So those are some of the things we use the research for. We ask listeners, what do you think brands can do to help you deal with the impact of COVID, for instance? So now that you know what your listeners expect from brands that advertise on your radio station, you can go to those brands and say, listen, these are what our listeners feel. Let's work on campaigns that can alleviate, whether it's people not having food, whether it's children's homes that need food or that need books. So I think for us, COVID allowed for collaborations, where you go to the client and you say, there's a destitute family, but we know there's 100 other destitute families. How can we work together to fix that? Or, as a radio station, we're going to do a virtual concert, and we will find sponsors and pay the artists. Then you start finding a sustainable way of broadcasting, bringing money in, and helping other people make the money. So for me, those are some of the learnings that we found. So for instance, also, since lockdown, podcasts, I think, are seeing growth that's unprecedented. Podcasts are an opportunity for people to experience you who are not necessarily your core listeners. A lot of radio stations are still not podcasting. Show it's gone in the wind. And podcasts are an opportunity for your product to live on beyond what you're doing on the radio. Even if you're not on radio, as a DJ, do people know where to find your mixes, to see what kind of talent you have in the event that I have an online event that I can book you? These are all the things we need to be doing. And I think radio, like I said, has never had this big a responsibility as it has right now. So whether it's to the immediate community or to artists, I think we have a lot to do, and we have a lot that we have done. So I think shout out to all radio, because people always think radio will die. When MTV started, people thought MTV will kill radio. When iPods came, people thought radio will die. When streaming happened, radio is stronger now than it's ever been.
Yeah, no, I don't think radio will ever die. Because one thing that people don't know about radio is one of the few things that you can actually engage in while also busy engaged in other things.
Other things like
You
what? Oh.
you drive and you are listening to radio. Basically everything. Even when you're sleeping, buddy, there's so much that you can do, and that is the appeal and the power of radio. That it's I don't know what to say, but it's really an important platform. That is where we express ourselves. And if you don't listen to radio, you will never truly know what people on the ground are thinking, what people are saying, and all that. Yeah.
And I think one thing we need to realize that, yes, it's a year later, but people are still scared.
Yes.
People still want to be sold hope.
Yes.
So whether it's on radio, whether it's on your social media, whether it's from government even, people just want hope.
Yeah.
And are we giving people enough hope? That is the question.
No, thank you about that. Thank you about that. Yeah, a round of applause for him. It's got me thinking. Tira, I listened to you earlier on, and you spoke to something that I really like. The developmental role of the arts or music. When you said that, you were thinking as you were releasing songs about driving people to Durban for tourism. That is the developmental role that music plays. And not many people don't understand that music can play that role. And I'm not sure if it's something that is well understood in this country. But maybe you want to give advice on that, and generally how you in South Africa are navigating this COVID thing. Any lessons for Botswana here, and collaborations and everything? Please talk to those issues.
I think it's very, very important to develop artists, because if you develop one artist, that artist is going to give a few other people jobs. There's going to be dancers, there's going to be managers, there's going to be publicists, there's going to be a lot of other people that will work for that artist. So if one artist gets successful, a lot of other people get jobs. In order for an artist to develop, also, you need to scout for talent. We need to use the time to record the music. For example, even the Ministry of Arts can also have their own studios where they can allow people that don't have an opportunity to get into a studio to have facilities that they can use to record music. And with their influence, then maybe they can also export, like bring other producers or artists from other countries to come. If you get a call from a minister of another country saying, hey, we want you to come here and work with our talent, that's exciting, because you're moving to another level. And also, you are coming to do something good for a nation. So I think all those things are very important, that we need to develop artists. And right now is the right time, because it's Katis Corner, we have time. There is not a lot of gigs that are happening. So we are available. Call someone, must come, do music, let's scout for talent, let's see how many artists we can get. The more we get talent, the more we can be able to grow the nation and have more money.
Thank you, Tiro. That is profound. Yeah, a round of applause for the gentleman. Bizu. Yeah, where are we going from here, man?
I think I'm also an activist around, in Botswana. I think for me, the responsibility of a successful industry in Botswana relies on us and on government. I have learned with my new company that government is in a business of buying solutions, not complaints. If you come with a complaint, they will simply leave you. And right now it's worse, I was having some challenges with the event when I was putting it together financially. So I was trying to reach out to the people at MySec, and they were on shifts. I'll talk to Maboloko this week. After this next week, she's not there. I'm talking to Magu when she's not. So artists need to understand one thing. You can sit there on Facebook and become a popular by insulting other people or complaining about them. But nobody in that particular platform who approves proposals or who's a decision maker is there. Decision makers, for example, I personally, I've learned that when I was doing this conference, people were saying a lot of things. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I always tell people that I do things that I love. I like something, I follow it. If I love Fresh, I support him to the core. So even when I brought Rita, the lady that managed Makazi, I brought her because I had seen on social media people say, but this artist is big. I wanted her story to be known. I wanted her side of the story to be known so that other people that are trying to get managers can learn and get advice from the horse's mouth. Having been around for a very long time, I've experienced all the seasons of the music industry. And I have taken my time. I'm 41 now. I'm only now starting, to do major things. I've always wanted to work with Fresh, but I didn't have anything to offer him at a scale that probably it will make business sense to him. I just had Tira mention something that we can have a Botswana stage. I was working with Exotic to bring Tira here. Exotic did everything. If you know Exotic, you would know the type of noise that you will have when he's pushing something. Hey, makoya wa tla ke buane, makoya ke buane. So this whole thing because Zotic has got, I've taken Zotic under my wing and I told him I'm going to mentor, I'm going to show you direction. This whole thing with the stage at the Devon Rocks, I'm going to help him put it together because I knew Tira through him. I'm not going to undercut him. I'm going to set him and I'm going to show him the ropes. Look, don't do this, don't do this. Because yes, he might be very close with Tira, but he must understand when he gets up there, it becomes now a business. So it must make business sense either for the government, for Brand Botswana, for Botswana tourism, and for Tira as well. So I'm going to help you, my brother, because and actually even booking Fresh, he was like, Fresh. No, but Fresh, I did public. So, if you know, the whole event, even to do it virtual, it was Zotic who was making the loudest. And I have been telling people, this event, I thought, virtual, but Zotic and another brother of mine, 52, they kept on talking about how doing this thing virtual would be great. So, then I get to advertise, so the future of the music industry, it doesn't lie on the government. The government is going to put the Arts Council there. We don't know who's going to be in the board of the Arts Council. It might be people from University of Botswana who know nothing about music business, And people must understand there's a difference between music business and academics. I'm a businessman in the industry. I'm not an academic. I'm very practical in my approach. That is why a lot of people get frustrated. Guys come to me. I'm doing the project here. So people are frustrated. Because people are frustrated, they are going to social media because they can't get what they want. But actually, we always say that when I say, so but fresh. They go to social media. So I was even telling V today, I would say, V, you are the biggest artist in the country. You need to learn to admit to that and act as one. You can't afford to be acting like you are artist number 3 or 4 or 5. You are number 1. So if you're artist number 1, you have to be having a certain manner. I've been telling him this thing. I don't know. Even the other day I was telling him, organize a breakfast meeting. Call all these guys there with your own mind and show them the direction where you want to take the industry. So I think COVID, like Tira is saying, it has given us the opportunity for us to soberek. And you're going to be seeing us. With Zotic, I know that we can drive to Joburg, we can even go to Devon. So we will be knocking on your doors, our brothers, And we're happy that you guys who came here, you don't know how excited I am, you know. That I don't know whether the permanent secretary is excited as well. He never shows excitement. So, Leon even there, but we are very happy. We don't, you know. So, but we're very happy we've done it, you know. Yeah.
I think another thing that us as creatives need to remember is the fact that we're at a stage in the world where people are looking for content all the time. And depending on how regularly your content is put out on the internet, depending on how compelling your content is the difference between how many viewers you have. If you have a YouTube channel, that might be your passport to international stardom, depending on the content you put out. People want content all the time. There are even people who are willing to pay for content if it's good enough. I mean, you look at someone like Jamaica, for instance. I mean, he's putting out very decent, compelling content. Now, the next step for him is, how do you monetize that? How do you monetize the fact that you're always, once a week, you're releasing a skit or sketch or whatever it is that you're working on? What stops you from going to a brand and saying, can I do my next recording with your car? Letlantuela, whatever money you agree on. What stops you from going to Makoya Chicken? And, you know, when you're recording your next sketch or skit, on your table is Makoya Chicken. You do a bit of product placement, and that's how you make your money. There are so many ways we can monetize the content we have on the internet, but either we're too lazy or we're not thinking big enough. And that's half of the problem. Government can only do so much. The rest, you're on your own. And until you wake up to the fact that you're on your own, until you wake up to the fact that you're talented and you're sleeping on yourself, all you're going to do is stay sleeping and stay complaining. So we need to wake up to the fact that, like you're saying to V, don't forget who you are, my man. And as an artist, you need to remind yourself all the time. When you wake up, remind yourself who the hell you are. And walk like who the hell you are. Walk into an office with a proposal like who the hell you are. That's the only way we're going to survive. This thing of thinking, the world is not going to open as soon as we think it will. We're not going to get vaccines and herd immunity as soon as we hope it's going to happen. So in the meantime, how are we making money? How are we staying alive? How are you keeping your car if you're paying off a car? The world is in trouble. And if you're not going to think outside the box, if you're not going to think of other ways of, as they call it, pivoting, you're in trouble.
Thank you, Fresh. Thank you.
Sorry, I go man.
No. I'm actually also enjoying the whole talk. Huh? I'm enjoying it because it's full of wisdom. It's full of wisdom, which I think a lot of us, especially in the industry, need to have that wisdom. We are not an industry with a reputation for that kind of wisdom. And I'm just amazed that, so mentoring in this industry could actually come not necessarily from you teaching people how to be good DJs or something like that, but basically even how to live their lives. I mean, because you realize that the biggest problem with artists, with everybody, is how they are living their life. That is the biggest problem. I mean, so it's wisdom that is much needed.
May I just add quickly? I know what ya chaya. In fact, for me, mentoring is not a big thing. It's the only thing. And that's how our industry will survive. When we stop fearing sharing knowledge, when we stop fearing the fact that when a door opens for you, it's okay to leave the door open. Leave the door open. Let other people come in. But because we live fearing scarcity, we live fearing often we're selfish with even just contacts. I have a contact that I know V can use, but now I don't need it. But I'm not going to call V and say there's a contact, go knock on the door. And it's unnecessary. Like, why can't we mentor other? I mean, Oskido mentored me. I met Oskido at the airport. Airport was a picnic spot on the way to the airport for those that are born after 1992. And that's why I met Oskido. Oskido mentored me. I mentored Tira. I managed HP for 6 months. That's why I met this man. And that's how you grow an industry, by opening doors and letting others in. And each person you mentor becomes an ally. I'll never go hungry because of the number of people I've mentored. So if you're not building, if you're not growing, you're dying. So let's grow each other and let's grow ourselves. Otherwise, we might as well cancel this industry and get proper jobs like our mothers all said.
Thank you, Fresh. A round of applause for you. Perhaps we should also create more platforms for you to just engage everyone. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Rele Menyane, in closing, what is the way forward? What is... I've been, I even forgot that you guys could be having some questions. I'm sorry for that. Before you close, I think let me just ask the audience if they have got any questions. And I see V there. V, you will ask a question. My brother's there. That's Sechaba, right? And then, is it Mandla? I think I remember you guys from last year. Yes, V.
All right. First of all, I just want to applaud the Ministry of Youth, Empowerment, Sports, and Culture Development for putting this, supporting something like this. And the kind of knowledge that we are getting here is so amazing. So I have the other one. I don't know if it's a question or just to my honorable. My honorable, there's something that DJ Fresh, said that really touched me. He was just talking about the broadcasting industry and why, and all the things that I felt that the necessary people who really need this, they should be here, all these radio stations. And if we can put them together and you, my honorable, can bring back DJ Fresh and speak to the presenters, I'm telling you, our radio industry could go very, very, very far. So that's the one for my honorable. Then the question to DJ Tira, I was actually going to ask you this during the studio session later, but I want to ask you now. You have managed to build Fake Devon Rocks, and it's successful. You managed to build Afrotainment, it's successful. You managed to build DJ Tira, it's successful. The question is, how do you balance? Is it is it administration, or is it your fire to just push? I just want to know, how do you balance? And all of these brands are so successful on their own rights.
V. Yes, Mike. Where's the mic?
All right, thank you. My name is Richard D. I'm from South Africa, Limpopo. My question is for him. Africa to Botswana. So we thought growing up, Botswana had a very huge market. As small as you guys are saying, it's small, but it has always had a very huge impact in South Africa. And I heard the minister praising good about the artists who are from here and now have relocated to South Africa. So my question to him is, I had this new strategy that you guys are coming up with because you didn't have this and that. Now my question is, do you guys advise your artists like him, DJ Fresh, to do something in Botswana and relocate to South Africa and be based there. So what happens to the ones who are coming after DJ Fresh? It means for them to succeed, like Vima Pinzi, they'll have to leave Botswana and go to South Africa. So how does the industry grow when every successful artist from this country relocates to our country where we're already overpopulated as well? Like Mapiano is every corner now. So you come to our country like Jack, what's his name, Jack, the videographer guy. He's very excellent. He's done a lot of good videos here in Botswana. But now he has relocated to South Africa and he's starting as an upcoming videographer. And it hurts because if he was being paid 100,000 this side, they're giving him 5,000 in South Africa. And you guys are actually proud that he has relocated. Where else he has relocated to start from the bottom. Where else you guys will come with a strategy of imports and exports. See necessity for Tira to relocate to Botswana. And see necessity for Botswana artists who are based in Botswana to make it big in Botswana. And so the coming ones should have role models and grow in Botswana, not in a different country. So please try to elaborate, what are you doing for imports and exports? Thank you.
I think mine is going to go to Sbizo. With regard, in the year 2008, we used to have a very good exporting our music to South Africa, but especially in our culture sphere, and our whereby the whole of Pretoria and Northwest, in a lot of the cultural music, it was one of the best on radio stations. I wanted to know where we went wrong and what can be done. So that because it was very big. It was one of the music whereby, was it as Ronadi promoter or as the music because the music was very huge. Do we think when we have the shortfall, can we fix it? If it is the issue is Samelau, can we just create a conducive environment for that our music and talent can be recognized and be exported as huge as it was in 2008?
Hello, I'm advised that we're actually left with 15 minutes. So I'm going to ask people those asking questions to have one question and let it be very brief because that also makes it easy for our panelists. Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mpeleki July, a gospel artist. My question goes to DJ Tira and DJ Fresh to help me understand what is the secret behind their success. What is it that they are doing that can motivate me to do as well in Botswana, to be similar, our industry to be similar like theirs? And what is it that really outstanding that they always do so that I'm also following what they are doing? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Madam, Kibido Abufelo. I wanted to ask DJ Tira. I must say that you guys seem to be playing a very huge role in promoting Durban and making Durban what is it today. Because even myself, for me to develop interest to travel to Durban was because of you guys have turned the lifestyle of Durban, So I want to understand because the Minister of Tourism seems to be playing a very huge role in the event that you guys are doing, the cultural tourism part. So I wanted to understand how is the relationship, with you guys, the industry, and your custodian ministry, which is the Minister of Arts and Culture, and the Minister of Tourism. How does it work? And so that maybe we can learn something also as Botswana to leverage on that.
Thank you. Mandla.
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Mandla Masego. Perhaps my question will be directed to the policymaker. You spoke about, and I think I'm asking this question to learn. You spoke about the ministry providing resources or paying money into a collecting society for the collecting society to disperse the money to the artist. I'm just interested to know how does it work, because I had thought that you might be leveraging more on the users of the works and ensure that the users themselves are actually paying the money into the collecting society. Maybe just clarity there if I did not understand. And the second question, which is a burning question for me, is that I'm studying the rights model and the collecting society model of Botswana. I'm interested to understand why all the rights are administered under one institution. Because if it fails as one institution, then we've got a problem. I'm just interested to understand that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sechaba, yeah. I think we can take you, then we'll have the responses.
Okay. My name is Chaba. I'm from Lesotho. I've been coming here for years and years now. DJ Fresh, how you doing, my brother? I would actually like to pose this question to all the members of the panel. When we speak all the time, we normally encourage people to come through to what we are doing. As DJ Fresh said, it's important for us to open up the doors. How is it feasible and viable? Because most of the time we speak with these young and upcoming hopefuls, but most of the time when they try to reach out, DJ Fresh, normally it gets difficult. Tira, you would attest to this, that it normally gets difficult. So the one thing that I have taught myself within the pandemic is that we seriously need ourselves to uplift those ones on the ground. How do we really assure that these young ones that we are promising that the doors will be opened, that really stays that way?
Thank you very much. I think we can have the responses now because we're running behind time. Yes, and I think the responses will also be brief.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll take the question that was asked about him, and especially about relocation of. I've relocated before to South Africa when I was working with Java. I think context, content, and application.
Yes, so you'll have to put that
Yes.
mic right under your chin.
Okay. Context and content and application will be very important so that you understand the landscape we're operating in. So for a very long time in SADC, not only in Botswana, everything has always been in Johannesburg. Whether it's buying clothes to sell, whether it's a broadcaster, whether it's everything. The first music channel, I think, was Channel O. People were moving from here to just drop a mini DV in Joburg. So it has always been like that for a very long time. Even with the radio presenters like Fresh, Abu Mama, it's always been, because the market is very small. We're only 2 million people in Botswana. You cannot upscale yourself to above where you are. Jack is making he was charging 2.5 for a video when he was here. He's in South Africa, he's charging 10,000 rands. And he doesn't want to come back. And he moved in the middle of a virus. Because he had said, he even called me and said, look, Sabel, I'm taking KSB with me. He's going to be my first artist. I'm going to start by producing him. So, also, as a country, it will be foolhardy for us to bottle ourselves here. If you look at the Nigerians, they're all over. Right now in Botswana, one of the buzzing artists, what is it called, Bobby what? What's that guy who's a big song? He's a Nigerian. He's selling cars in Mogoditsan. Bobby Majest. So the music has become a global village. Artists are going everywhere. Governments now are signing agreements for free trade. So Tira anymore, next time it doesn't need a passport to come. I know Botswana, going to Namibia now, you don't need a passport. You just pass through the border. So the game is changing all over again. So even you guys here who are artists, you are going to see a lot of South African artists moving here. You're going to listen, you see a lot of Zimbabwean artists moving here. It's going to be like that. It's going to be a norm. It's not going to be like what we have been seeing in the past 5 years, where it's only Nigerians who are moving into our countries, because the Nigerians are 400 million. I think I've answered that one. Then it goes to DVD. The biggest problem with artists, even myself.
Be mindful of time.
Yes. It has always been mismanaging ourselves. Our artists, as promoters, we have mismanaged ourselves so much to the extent where we don't take responsibility of our fault. During lockdown, I did that. I took responsibility of my career and I decided that, you know what? I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. And I think once this artist really big South Africa can realize where they went wrong and self-audit themselves, then they will get everything and be honest with themselves. Because there is no reason why V today should be his artist manager. When I was talking to Fresh, I now talked to Fresh until he was here. Actually, I learned that Fresh isn't even checked into the hotel by her own manager. I was telling her, but go South Africa. That's the power of having a good structure and a good management. When I was working with Tira, Zotic was working with Tira's management, and I was working through Zotic. So there was smooth communication. So I was not going to bed sweating or Fresh like Sichaba says. It's very difficult to contact these guys. We knew where they are. We knew what time they're coming. We knew their COVID results. We knew what time to collect them and where to take them. So to be honest, we need to change how we are running our thing. We shouldn't stop operating like tuck shops, where, you know, if the owner is not there, it closes the business and goes to and buy stocks at Trans-Africa. We need to have a business that is operating even if we are not there. So I think the most important thing is to change how we have been running our businesses. I guess I have answered both the questions. I think you understand that artists are big, but are not making money.
Thank you, Sbizo. Tira, do you want to respond to some of the questions?
Yeah, the first question was by V. They're asking about the success of Afrotainment, Fact Urban Rocks, and DJ Tira. I think, honestly, it's a combination of a few things. You need to be professional on everything that you do. Professionalism is very, very important. It's going to keep your work clean and people are going to be interested in it. So paperwork in terms of contracts and proposal and whatever, those things need to be on point. And then also, also when it comes to Fact Urban Rocks, I think Fact Urban Rocks' first event was successful because we managed to get an MTN sponsor. So you don't have to wait for government to support your thing. You have to go knocking on every door where you think your brand they might be interested in. I see my man Mizo here. He's got Protea Hotel supporting this event, which means he's not sitting down and just folding hands. He's going around knocking and seeing people that can be able to support the radio station and so forth. My brother there, my sister there asked me about what can inspire or motivate to become a big brand. I think for me, talent is important. You need to find talent that you're working with. If you're a manager or it's yourself or whatever, find talent. You need to have talent that you're going to sell to the people. And when you sell talent, make sure that it's original. We want to come to Botswana to enjoy the culture. That is Botswana, not something else that is copied from US or UK or whatever. So originality also is very important. And then focus. Focus, do the work and focus. In nowadays, we waste our time with drugs, with booze, with partying non-stop and so forth, and we sidetrack. So focus is very important because it kills a lot of careers. And last but not least, my brother there asked me about Durban tourism and entertainment industry. I mean, government needs to see something that works, and if they see that it works, they're going to support it. They're not going to support you on your first event when you're trying to bring a proposal, but you don't stop knocking. You do your event with whatever that you have and come back next year with something that, hey, I told you that I'm going to do something like this. I had 1,000 people at this event, and I want to grow this event. So with your support, we can take this number to 5,000 into even 15,000. So start and do something, and don't just fall hand and wait for government to help you.
Thank you. Fresh. Yeah.
To answer your question about the secret to our success, to tell you the honest truth, if we knew the real secret, we'd bottle it and sell it. Ne? And that's how we'd make a lot of money. But what I can tell you, though, for free, is if you have a plan, if you have talent, and you're willing to work hard, all you need to add to that is a bit of luck. Because no one here can tell you that they didn't have a bit of luck, maybe being at the right place at the right time. But often where we fail is the fact that when the door opens, we're not ready. A lot of opportunities are wasted like that you want an opportunity. But once you get it, you drop the ball because you are not ready. So I believe always be ready for the next opportunity. Because you don't know when it's going to come. You don't know where it's going to come from. But also, as important, once you get that opportunity, you need to remember that it's like with a relationship. If you like a guy or you like a girl and you'll be Porsche asking them out, if you think it was difficult getting her to say yes, it's more difficult convincing them to stay. And it's like that with any industry. You might think it's hard to get a job, but once you have the job, there's 100 other people who think they're better than you. So what are you doing to maintain, to be consistent, to be professional, like Tira is saying? Do you show up drunk at gigs? If I book you and you show up drunk, I'm not going to book you again. Do you give people value for money? Are you dependable? Do you have a bit of humility, Nyana? A lot of us, as soon as you taste a bit of success, you become arrogant. You start thinking, or a superstar. There's only one superstar, it's God. The rest of us, the rest of us are just working towards some sort of actualization or self-actualization. So for me, a combination of all of that will get you somewhere. But be ready when the door opens. That's very important.
Thank you, French. That is sound advice.
Quickly, Brahmandla. You're talking about paying money to the collecting society. We are consumers of music. We own a television channel. So that brand there now is a TV channel. So that's why we're paying. So that the collecting society can pay royalties to the artist. So the details about why there's one pot, I think that will be answered tomorrow, because I know the Copyright Society of Botswana will be at tomorrow's jam. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But so I've been talking about time, and our time is gone.
Can I add one last thing?
Yes.
Askis.
Yeah.
One more secret. Ne? Remember I said to you earlier on that mentorship for me is very important. One of the reasons I've been in this industry this long is because I'm not afraid to mentor younger people who might have fresher ideas than the ideas I have already. The thing is, we often think mentorship is a one-way street. If you're mentoring someone who's young and hungry, trust me, they don't know that you're going to learn more from them than they're going to learn from you. So the minute you're not afraid to share your spotlight is when you start growing. So don't be afraid to say to someone younger than you or someone who's hungrier than you, come, let's work. You're actually going to learn a hell of a lot. That's why I'm still here.
Thank you, Fresh, and thank you to all of you gentlemen. It's unfortunate that the panel didn't have any ladies. I'm ashamed that we didn't have any ladies on the panel, and that I'm only realizing it now. But anyway, it's been worthwhile. We've had some really good conversations going on here, and my hope is that we'll continue the conversations long after we've left this place. I wish we still had time for networking, so that people network, they exchange numbers, they do, yeah.
Can't the Honorable Minister make a phone call?
Thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're short for time, and I'm going to ask the peers, Raramukate, to officially close the day for us. You can come upstage, sir, and and give him a round of applause. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. I decided to bring this notebook with me, although I wasn't ready for that. I thought I have my notes in my phone, and just as they were saying they're winding up, it started telling me the battery is gone. So I panicked and had to find a piece of paper. Honorable Minister of Youth Empowerment, Sport and Culture Development, Honorable Rakari, the distinguished senior officials of the ministry led by Rapaleji, Ralim Minyane, and the MISEC team that is here, our distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is an honor for me to propose a vote of thanks at the end of such an exciting panel discussion. And I wish to start my vote of thanks by acknowledging and thanking the presence of the Honorable Minister who is here with us. Those of us who know the calendar, Yadi Minister in Botswana, Parliament was on when he left to come and start at 5 o'clock. Parliament runs up to 6 p.m. So on the other side, he has abandoned his other responsibilities to be with us here. But that suggests the importance that we attach to this event. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, that we are able to gather in this way. And I wish to also, in thanking you, pay particular and special thanks to Ramudibe for putting the event together. We know it's not easy bringing people under one roof and organizing an event of this magnitude. But what is even more difficult is convincing people, convincing us in the industry, and convincing those of us who are industry players that something like this can actually happen and it can actually work. Everybody has a good idea and has proposals, has brilliant ideas, but convincing people that what we have as a brilliant idea can actually work is also a lot of hard work. So I wish to thank him for persevering and being able to bring the event together. I could not thank the distinguished panelists more, particularly our international guests. I guess I'm fresh more international guests, but I'll include him for purposes of the vote of thanks. It's important that we refresh. Okay. No, at least his woman says he was born in Makalin, so it's fine. It's genuine. It's very critical and very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we are able to cross-fertilize ideas. As a growing and emerging creative industry and the music industry in Botswana, we need these ideas from industry players who, in our view, are a step or a couple of steps ahead of us. We cannot believe that as an industry we have arrived, we are at our peak when we see what is happening around the world and around the globe, and we believe we could learn from people like the distinguished panelists here. I know other guests who are here as well will be involved in other discussions possibly tomorrow. I wish to just generally comment on some of the questions that were raised that touched on government. Our collaboration as a ministry responsible for the arts and culture with the ministry responsible for tourism and other ministries, for us is at a level where we are happy at, or we are happy with. We work very closely with the ministry responsible for tourism in selected events that we participate in. I think what we need to do is move one step further to improve these relations and bring to the attention of our collaboration with the Ministry of Environment and Tourism the importance of them also appreciating being able to work directly with industry players. It should not just be when we are present. It should be even being able to do independent work with other industry players. But the fear in government has always been, if I were to share with you, from our side of the table, the skepticism is always when you get people who you expect to be working together, bringing proposals, and everybody trying their luck at the same thing. Then you begin to have suspicions that no, maybe something is going on which I'm not seeing. But the issue of having one voice is very important, ladies and gentlemen. We can't overemphasize that. In as much as we can try with the Honorable Minister to meet and see most of you, it's not possible. In a calendar year, I don't think we'll meet everybody that we would have wanted to meet. But putting your thoughts together and putting your ideas together and having one voice is very important. We like bragging or being excited about exporting talent in Botswana. Not because when the talent is in Botswana, it's not good enough. But we are looking at the revenue or income stream that comes to the talent. In Botswana, the industry is very much at a emerging or infancy stage. Those of us who have been in the industry long enough, you would know that in the past you'd be paid with a plate of food after performing. Then it graduated to being recognized and being asked to stand and get a round of applause. And it graduated to you being able to get a check from MySec every time you perform. And then it graduated to everybody knowing that they have to give you a check. And it's not just government that needs to give you a check when you perform. And when they asked us, sometimes trying to get a deal with or broker a deal with yourselves and say you are expensive, or is it too much, or should we can we tell you as an artist that no, can you bring your price down? We would normally say no, but you just buy. When you go to Choppies, you just buy. You don't ask for the manager. So just buy the service, pay for the service. It's up to you to negotiate with the artist. So I think where we are now, it's much better, but it's not there yet. That is why when one of our own makes it in a bigger market, we are excited. We know they are carrying a Botswana passport wherever they are, so we are still proud of them. I think in winding up but I want to finish at 1 minute to 8. Because I've spoken to the Commissioner of Police that I'll be coming from work, so can he allow me through? I don't know what arrangements you've made. So you must have your 1,000 pula in your pocket. But just to wind up, I think one of the most important things to come out of something like this is your social capital. Your networking, the value that you get out of that. I think it came out from the panel discussion, but I wish to emphasize that your industry is not like the work that I do. As you can see, now I'm 9 to 5. I do hereby, when I'm looking for a job, I fill in an application. I don't think your industry works like that. You don't fill in an application. It's your reputation that counts. It's your connections and your networks that count. And if you are asking somebody to mentor you, they'll probably ask someone that they knows more about you than they do. For instance, Fresh says, mentor. What kind of a person or what kind of a guy is Fresh? They'll try that. So if you don't build these networks and make sure that your social capital then really has value, I think we are going to be always going around in circles because nobody wants to touch someone who's like that. So it's very important. In closing, let me thank you once again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen who attended this event. It cannot be successful without those of us who are sitting below there. The panelists on their own and the organizers on their own would not make a successful event. So thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for making it to this event. Have a good evening. Thank you.
No, wait, gentlemen, wait. I've just been asked that they would like a photo of the minister, the panelists. Yeah, so please. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The next session. So the next session is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you very much.